The most dangerous thing a woman can do is know what she really wants. Welcome back to the show. I'm Andrea Ross, professional stunt woman, movement and mindset coach, a long-term fun haver. Today, we're diving into a bold and maybe even uncomfortable truth that the most dangerous thing a woman can do is know what she really wants. Dangerous not because it's reckless or irresponsible, because once a woman truly knows what she wants, she becomes unshakable. And that threatens the systems, the social norms, the conditioning that has told her to shrink and be small. So, in this episode, we are going there. Why knowing what you want is radical. The most common obstacles a woman can face when trying to claim it, and what to consider before you go after it full force. Why wanting something deeply is dangerous. Let's start with this truth. Clarity is power, and a woman with awareness of her worth is often perceived as a threat. Why? Because society doesn't always know what to do with a woman who's not asking for permission. We're praised for being accommodating, for being nice, for being flexible. And most of the time, I speak from experience, terrified of being disliked. But decisive, direct, ambitious, that's still labeled too much. Research from the Harvard Business Review shows that women who exhibit ambition or confidence are more likely to face social backlash, seen as being less likable or overly assertive, turning around, even if their confidence matches that of male counterparts. Knowing what you want and going after it requires you to push not only through your personal fear, but external resistance. Also, I'm trying to hold this while riding on one wheel, so forgive me if my framing is not amazing. So, unless you have a badass support group or fellow brave femmes out there, like the ones in your Live Your Fierce community, blatant but honest plug, you can also unlock everything. Your sense of purpose, your joy, and your agency. Slowing down, going too fast, getting excited. I personally hit one of my biggest moments of stuck after I retired from elite sport. I was doing a job I was good at, and I enjoyed it, but I was not, it wasn't entirely filling the cup. I felt like I was doing all the things I was supposed to do, but under the surface, I was too afraid to take any risks of what I truly pined after. Well, with a hella supportive nudge from my former boss, now close friend and business partner, I packed up my car, rented out my condo, and I moved to another city to pursue my dream of becoming a professional stunt woman. It was scary, uncertain, and filled with a lot of friction between those who told me what I should be and who I knew I truly was. So much internal conflict. The film industry, like many others, is filled with a lot of real obstacles around knowing your worth, overcoming imposter syndrome, and the myths around waiting for permission to advance your career, even once you've unequivocally made it. That being said, the pursuit of this dream, this career alone, felt like true freedom. I was the most contented version of myself when I silenced the sources of doubt and leaned into the many sources of support. That power came from taking action that was truly in alignment with what I wanted. And it's something that I carry with me today whenever I set new goals for myself. Most common obstacles in women's way, I think many women who pursue leadership roles have the same obstacles, no matter how badass we are. So here's a short list that I came up with. Cultural conditioning. From early childhood, many girls are taught to prioritize others' needs, not their own. Wanting too much feels selfish, or staying stuck in nice girl mode. Fear of judgment about what people think. Will they still like me? Will I lose relationships if I change? According to a study published in Psychology of Women Quarterly, fear of social deterrent for women taking risks even when they're highly capable. Third one is imposter syndrome. This is rampant among high-achieving women. You can be wildly qualified and still feel like a fraud, and we're conditioned to believe that. And this causes us to over-prepare and play small. Yuck. Anyways, not all resistance is internal. Childcare, financial inequity, unequal access to opportunities, these are real barriers, and they disproportionately affect women, especially women of color. My fifth one, disconnection from desire. Many women don't even know what they want because they've never been asked. They spent decades performing roles, mother, partner, professional, caregiver, and the question, what do you want, feels foreign. Part 2, what to consider. I think one of the missing pieces for many female leaders is that they are less than clear about what they exactly want. And I think having a solid understanding of what you want and why makes battling all of the previous mentioned obstacles so much easier. Turning around, turning around, trying not to fall off, turn around. But before you go full ham, it might be helpful to ask yourself these 5 questions. Question 1, what is the real desire behind this goal? Sometimes the thing we want, money, recognition, freedom, is a symbol for something deeper, safety, validation, purpose. Question 2, whose voice is in my head telling me I can't? Is your mother or your father's, your high school coaches, a former boss? I think you need to identify that so that you can disown. Question 3, what strength do I already have that I'm underusing? Confidence doesn't come from acquiring new skills, it comes from recognizing what you already know. Pull out that tool belt. Question 4, what structures or support do I need to build up? It's missing. Think mentors, childcare, time boundaries, accountability. It's not about doing it alone, but it is about doing it on purpose. Question 5, am I willing to fail publicly for this? Because that's when you know it's real. When your desire outweighs your fear of embarrassment, you are on the right path, which is staying on this one wheel while I talk to you. When I work with my new clients, I spend the first chunk of time around what your true goals are and connecting it to your priorities. Because sometimes they are not in alignment, I say often. And then I assess their current abilities, their existing arsenal, and we work to build confidence through creative movement and play. We work to embrace failure so we can use it as a tool instead of a debilitating fear. We build an unshakable connection between our mental and our physical awareness so that obstacles can be scanned quickly, overcome with that skills tool belt. And I see a major emotional shift when a woman goes from hesitating to fearlessly taking a bold action. Oh, and it gives me chills. So, in closing, yes, knowing what you want is dangerous. Dangerous to the status quo, dangerous to your old conditioned self, but it's also the most powerful, liberating, honest thing you will ever do. And it's the beginning of everything. And here's the best part. You don't have to start with total certainty. You just have to start with a truthful yes, just one. So let this be your permission slip, or maybe your call out. What do you want? Really? Like, what do you really want? And what are you going to do about it? Oh, that sounds like such a call out. But here I am, riding a one wheel, telling you to go after it.